Hi, this is an abridged version of the initial eDay training that we did back in 2011 for new teachers or for review. It is an overview, and I am not going to spend a lot of time on every slide. Some of the slides I'm just going to pause for 5 seconds for you to read and might make a brief comment on, but the intent is to shorten it down from 3 hours to under 10 minutes. So I'm not going to comment on every single slide. Please feel free to pause to read if I go too fast for you. So what are eDays? They're an electronic day that Ohio schools put together for Calamity Days 6 through 8 to do online blended learning from home. And the intent is to provide quality, relevant instructions through electronic means. The goal is to duplicate the learning target that might have been done in a normal day, not the time. There should be a learning target, instruction, assessment, which would provide us documentation, and teacher contact throughout that day is the goal. ORC's instruction here on what they're requiring for us, and then what we required was that we have to have all eDays ready by November 1st, and that's for 3 missed day. And what that means is that for the high school, it means 2 brown and 1 orange days, because the first eDay will be a brown day regardless of what the schedule is. So you have to have 2 brown day lessons ready and 1 orange day. For the middle school, that's a brown, an orange, and a blazer day. And for the elementary school, it means 3 lessons for math, science, social studies, and language arts. And then they'll do an additional special, and this is the specials rotation on eDay 1. You can see kindergarten will do music, first grade will do art, second grade will do PE, so that those teachers only have to put together 3 lessons, not 15, and also so that the K through 4 students don't have too many lessons to do on their eDays. So that's the difference on the 3 different schools and what needs to be prepared there. ORC again has to be ready and updated if possible. So what our plan is that we should go in and review and update lessons to improve instruction as much as possible to keep it relevant. And initially we said that training or the eDay should be set up for January or February for days 6 through 8. Normally we wouldn't do eDays in December. And then you can refresh those as it goes along throughout the year to make it more relevant for the current information that you're covering in your class. ORC requirements again, when it has to be up and ready, and the NT requirements are that no later than 9 a.m. all teachers will have their eDay lessons visible on their Moodle page. The designated alternate is because there were a couple teachers that said they don't have internet access. If you don't have internet access, you're still required to have your lesson open no later than 9 o'clock, which means you have to either drive to a location that there is internet access or have another teacher designated that's going to open your lesson for you. So that means that if you're a 3rd grade teacher and you don't have internet access, you need to make sure another 3rd grade teacher you've made previous arrangements with to open your eDay lesson for you. Teachers have to be available throughout the day until at least 3 p.m. for questions. That's by electronic means or phone number, emails, chats, forums, however you set up for your students, but you can't just open a lesson and go to Hawaii for the day. That is a work day for us, so we have to be available from the morning until at least 3 p.m. for any questions. I'm having students contact me through a forum and a chat and email. If you don't have internet access, then that means you'll have to give them a phone number or have an alternate way to get a hold of you, which means if you're really, I can't give them my home phone number type of person, then you have to say, okay, email Mr. Smith and he'll call me and then I'll call you. But you have to have a way that students can get a hold of you during that day. How many students are going to get a hold of us? I don't know, but it's a work day for us per ORC, so we have to be available like we're sitting there waiting for students to ask us any questions on our eDay lesson. So you have to be available. ORC requirements again that gives the students 2 weeks to get the lesson done, and if they receive an incomplete or failing grade, they will not get credit for the day. If they don't have access to the computer at their residence, which 11% of our students said they didn't have internet access in any way, then they have 2 weeks from when school reopens to get the lesson done. So here's our plan. 5 days upon return from the school, parents receive one call now informing them that requirement of completing the eDay assignment or they'll get a failing grade should not be completed within 14 days. And then 14 days after arrival from school, lessons should either be completed or students have to receive a failing grades. And parents have to be or will be notified of the failing grade and the failure of missing school. Failure to complete eDay lessons also means they can't waive any semester exams no matter what their OGT scores were, no matter what grades they have in the class. If they don't do the eDay, they have to do all semester exams. And you may want to point that out to some of your students that, oh, it's not going to make that big of an impression on my grades, but now they have to do every single semester exam no matter what their OGT and semester grades are, including seniors. And teachers are supposed to provide the office with a list of all students that did not complete the eDay for unexcused absence purposes. Any student who fails to complete an online assessment will be counted as absent. However, if they make it up, they will be considered in attendance. As far as how much the grade's worth, we did talk about how if it isn't worth anything, very likely they will not complete the eDay. And we talked about considering making an eDay category that's worth a test grade. Not necessarily each day being worth a test grade because it could make your whole thing lopsided. And personally, I'm giving every student a detention from the day 14 on for every day until they get it done, and I guarantee you they'll get it done in a day or two. ORC requirements. Again, we can give them alternate lessons in order to complete the lesson if we want to. We're really trying not to do paper lessons for that, although many K through 4 schools and classes particularly with the kindergartners, are making eDay packets to send home with their kids with eDay 1, 2, and 3 on it. That's up to individual teachers to do that. If you do eDay packets, then obviously you need to get them sent home before the eDay happens, because after the eDay happens, that's not an option. You can't say, oh, I was going to do an eDay packet, but it happened so fast I didn't get one together. Then you have to have it on your website, which is why the website makes it a little bit easier for those calamity days when we've got a huge storm coming in. Okay, so all school buildings will be open unless level 3 with a lab available. So if students say they don't have internet access, you can say, well, you can come in and do it. Intervention time can be used for eDay makeup. Classroom time cannot be used for eDay makeup time. Computer specialist time for K through 4 students, since it is not a primary computer time or a primary instruction time for students, can be used to make it up. So if you have a group of students that didn't get their eDay lesson done, you can coordinate with the library specialist to work on those when they're doing a computer specials rotation. The buildings and a lab will be open for students needing to complete eDay lessons for additional hours following each eDay. Originally we had a Saturday on there, and I think that got taken out. These are the days I had on the presentation for when we were planning on having it open: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday after school until 5 o'clock. One of the labs will be open, and we'll be coordinating who will be monitoring the students in that. I don't know how many students will be doing that, but we will have a lab open for that available too. One of our requirements is that by December 1st, all teachers will have accomplished a practice eDay lesson with all classes. That means every student in every class should have done a practice eDay lesson, and it should have been for a grade, so we can prove if they came to us and said, hey, did you practice this, that yes, here's what we did for our practice eDay lesson. It is a mini lesson, doesn't have to be a huge one, can be 5 minutes in length to show where they're posted and how those things will be accomplished. The K through 4 ones should have been done previously already in a specials rotation. That was the plan, although teachers could have done those individually in their classrooms as well with K through 4 students. 5 through 12 students should have been done in a lab or using one of the carts, and it should have complemented the current class material. As far as parent training, we do have the 2011 eDay training posted on the website, and we're going to do a one call now to all parents, directing them to that video when we have an eDay. And we have also sent home the year-later letter to K through 4 parents directing them to the website and where that information is for them to get to it. As far as implementation, we're going to talk next on how we're going to accomplish this necessarily, show you some example lessons here quickly. So the idea of these, let me pause for just 1 second. Okay, so for high school, middle school students, we plan on having a block at the top of all their classes, something like this that shows here's an eDay practice lesson that they will have done. And then if this was a brown day, eDay lesson 1 and eDay lesson 2. If it's an orange day, just have a practice lesson with eDay lesson 1. And obviously some classes happen both on orange and brown, so there'd still be 2 for some of those orange day classes. They just wouldn't do eDay number 2. And for the elementary school classes, the idea was that we made it really, really easy for them. If they don't even have to log in to Moodle to see their eDays, so what they would see, let me go ahead and log out here. When they come in, it says right here, elementary school eDay location. They click on that. They're just going to see their grade level. They click on second grade, and then there's a block set up for language arts, math, social studies, / science. I forgot that we said that one or the other would happen each day. And then specials area down here that would be there. And you can see the second grade has a link right here, how they're going to get in contact with those individual people. They've got an email link. You can also have your phone number posted if you prefer to do that as well. And there's their practice lessons all set up great for the second grade. Basically, you need content and an assessment. There has to be an assessment. There has to be learning content. You can't just give them a worksheet and say they did an eDay, because that's not it. They have to get instruction and an assessment for it to count as an instructional day for your class. It can be delivered a variety of different ways through recorded lessons, smart video recordings, a posted YouTube video, web links, audio files, online games, anything students can connect to online, or learn or review information from the given content area. So they have to get content first, and then the way they do assess, here's a rubric that Dave Shellhouse made for us on the different eDay lesson types from basic to advanced. I'll let you read that. You can pause this and read it on your own. Assessments have to be something that we get back to ensure that the students actually did the eDay assignment, whether that can be a worksheet, a paper, a quiz, a project, anything that you can grade, or in the case of the lower elementary school, a worksheet or something the parents sign off that they did that, but there has to be some way for us to prove that they did that eDay assignment, something that we get back or grade. And here's Dave Shellhouse' rubric on the kind of content the student have. I'm going to just pause for a second, and then you can pause the video right here if you need to read through that eDay lesson rubric. Okay, additional material, I'm done. I almost kept it under 10. I went over by just a little bit. Our PD website is at http://edtech.nationaltrail.us. You can get any of our stuff there. Our YouTube site with all of our different playlists for training is at tinyurl.com/nt-playlists. And this and other information on eDay training in particular is at http://tinyurl.com/nt-edays is where all that training is. And obviously you can email or contact me if you need to on any specific questions on what we're doing on eDays, and hopefully this year we have a successful first launch of our eDays.